EURUSD has been consolidating and is waiting for its next big move. Overall, in the markets, we've had massive news announcements with the Reserve Bank of New Zealand keeping interest rates unchanged after 6 continuous rate cuts. Furthermore, Trump has obviously been slapping around with new tariffs, with especially a 50% tariff on copper, causing copper prices to fly through the roof. Last of all, as well, today is an interesting day as we have the FOMC minutes, which should be moving the dollar into today. Now, overall, guys, EURUSD is not very clear in my opinion. We can clearly see here that the market has been pretty consolidative. Overall, yesterday we reacted to this overall buy before the sell supply zone over here, which eventually pushed the market further in towards the downside. Now, at this point in time, the 4-hour fractal is bearish, with obviously the initial 4-hour fractal break being here, a second fractal break over here, but then again, not a very strong one, just simply a wick break, and then boom, a reversal back in towards the highs. Now, from the 4-hour time frame perspective, again, I'm going to keep it very simple today. We are currently trading at a premium. We're currently in the pullback phase, and as we can see, first fractal break, market retraces back up into supply, and then again pushes in towards the downside with another fractal break. Now, at this point in time, once again, we have pretty much this area of supply over here with these imbalance candles, and if we were to look at the lower time frame being, for example, the 1 minute, you can again clearly see that this is a buy before the sell. Now, in order for me to identify a valid shorting opportunity, because I can understand that some of you might be looking for that, I would need to see a sweep of this high over here of around 12 o'clock. So one push in towards the highs, and then the change of character to potentially look for shorting opportunities. So that's what I have for EURUSD. For now, longs are too early, in my opinion, to be taken. Because if we look at the daily time frame real quick, we can see here that the daily is still trading at premium as well. Overall, we're still trading inside of this imbalance candle on the daily, but at the same time, we have some sell pressure coming from this buy before the sell candle over here. So price is fighting in between those two zones, and I'm currently waiting because the 4-hour fractal is still bearish. So overall, it makes sense from a market structure perspective still to continue to push in towards the downside as long as the 4-hour fractals remain bearish. Once the current fractal high were to break, that would be a moment that I would be happy to look for another long opportunity. Until then, I'll be focusing more on the pullbacks back down in towards the 0.5 fib and potentially in towards this area of demand over here, or even this lower area of demand over here. So looking for longs from one of these two zones, or I'll look for longs once the current fractal high breaks, or I'll be continuing to look for shorts as long as the current fractal high over here holds. Now, the dollar index, guys, because what is the dollar index telling us? Well, the dollar index, first of all, has still been pushing further in towards the upside. Overall, demand is still in control. The daily fractal is still bullish as well. We can now clearly see here that if we look at the fractals on the daily, that the daily fractal is bullish, with this being the fractal low, this being the fractal high. So we're currently in the pullback phase. Going in towards the 4-hour time frame, we can see, however, that as well, the overall order flow remains bullish. Again, this overall kind of like, let's say, hammer candle, imbalance candle is currently what is holding the market, forming support here. As we can see, the overall demand chain continues to be bullish. So as long, again, as the current fractal low holds, we should continue to push in towards the upside and eventually take out these descending highs, fill the gap, and potentially even push up a little bit higher in towards daily supply as well. So for now, still bullish here on the dollar index. There's not really any sign of slowing down yet, and I'll only really be interested in those shorts and EURUSD longs once we break the current fractal low. So that's what I have for the dollar. Overall, still very bullish. Looking at AUDUSD, we can see that AU is pretty slow, not really moving too much. Overall, the fractal structure, again, here on the 4-hour time frame, bullish. It pushed the market up higher from this overall sell before the buy here. Market found some support in there and pushed up higher. Focusing on the daily time frame, again, it's a little bit contradictive price action here, with overall the daily being bearish fractal, obviously reacting initially to this supply zone. Then here, fractal breakdown, market comes into supply, and now obviously you would be looking for a sell opportunity back down in towards the 0.5 fib. Go in towards the 4-hour time frame, and on the 4-hour we can see overall that if we look at this from a 4-hour swing structure perspective, that we had a break of structure here. This is overall the fib low to the high, and the market has approximately retraced into the 0.5 fib. Now, the market found some demand within this zone over here, pushed back in towards the highs after the 4-hour fractal structure, which happened inside of that zone, and this could potentially keep pushing the market up higher. Just keep in mind that the dollar index is currently in a bullish phase, but with those interest rates kept the same in New Zealand, and the overall interest rates, that there was no cut in Australia yesterday, this is obviously supported overall the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, and we could see the next leg up should we see some weakness from the dollar index itself. So I'll be looking for longs on AUDUSD, just waiting overall for the dollar to get a little bit weaker again, and that could provide us with some nice long opportunities on AU. Going into GU. GU is a pair that reversed very aggressively yesterday during the New York session overall. Looking at GBPUSD yesterday, obviously we were looking for that further downside. Overall, we can currently see that the daily fractal has shifted again. So once again, we are bearish here on the daily time frame with the buy before the sell still being in control. So again, as long as the current fractal high here holds, we should keep pushing down lower. Going in towards the 4-hour time frame, we can currently see that we have some nice price action in the sense that this overall is your buy for the sell. So daily fractal is bearish and the 4-hour fractal is bearish. We're inside daily supply and inside 4-hour supply. So current fractal high, as long as that holds, we should keep pushing down. We're currently trading at premium pricing. And as long as now the 1-hour time frame, because if we look at the 1-hour time frame, you can clearly see here that the initial reaction down, that's now being liquidated, and now the real push in towards the downside could start occurring. So I'll be looking for some shorts on GBPUSD and keeping an eye out here on the 15-minute fractal structure. For now, 50-minute fractal demand is in control, but once that were to break, that is the moment that I'll be looking at a potential shorting opportunity. Going into NZDUSD, we can see that NU is similar to AU. It's retraced in towards discount pricing. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we can see now that the 4-hour fractal shifted bullish. Overall, I'll be looking for potential buying opportunities. It's a little bit early still. We can see that the overall order flow again has been holding pretty well. I'm looking for a little bit more momentum in towards the highs. I don't really like the current price action that we're seeing. It's a little bit consolidative as well. This is obviously kind of like a newswick up, causing that 4-hour fractal break to be a newswick. There's no clear demand to our left, so I'm waiting for a little bit more confirmation, like a clear break, then the retest, and then I'll look for some more longs once again. So for me, NZDUSD looking better to start buying soon, but just not ready slightly yet. So that's NU. I'm waiting a little bit for a more clear support base to be formed. And then going into USD Swiss, I'm looking for shorts on USD Swiss in towards the downside. Looking here at the daily time frame real quick, and I'm just going to remove all of this. So here on the daily time frame, fractal structure first of all is bearish from this high in towards this low. You can see we were traced into the 0.5 fib. Here we have an imbalance candle which should act as supply. Going into the 4-hour time frame, we can then clearly see that again, that daily supply zone is also 4-hour supply as well, with the buy for the sell situated over here. Now the market retraced in towards there, gives us the initial reaction down. We come back up and we've liquidated it now twice, meaning we have this ascending structure with the 1 high, the 2nd high, and the 3rd high. Then we get the 4-hour fractal breakdown. So now I'm looking for another fractal breakdown before getting into a sell opportunity. I'm obviously also waiting and being a little bit cautious due to the dollar index still being so bullish. So once that starts to break down and we start breaking the fractal low once again here on the 4-hour time frame, then I think that we'll have some higher probability short positions to then take out these ascending lows as well. So I'll be monitoring a position like that on USD Swiss just to trade with the overall bearish momentum. USDJPY, the Japanese yen remains weak, and interest rate differentials are playing its part here on UJ. Overall, I'll be monitoring this pair for some further downside in the near future. But for now, obviously, no, it doesn't make any sense in calling the top. So let's just wait and see what happens here. For now, 4-hour fractal structure remains bullish, and longs are pretty much, as I mentioned, since the beginning of this week, pretty much the only thing that should be playing out. So not looking to short this just yet due to, 1, the fundamentals, but 2, also from a technical perspective, it doesn't make sense yet. It's also a very consolidative pair, obviously, at the moment. So I'll be staying out of UJ personally. I'm focusing more on USD Swiss. Going into gold, last of all, I was looking for a buy opportunity yesterday. Didn't play out yet. I'm just going to show you guys the different charts. So MGC. So I was looking for the buy yesterday. First of all, Again, we have taken this liquidity low, we've tapped into this daily demand zone, and we've seen the daily fractal break. Again, these are very good levels to see a potential reversal from. Now we just need the market to kind of like stabilize. Yesterday I was looking for longs. Again, the market didn't really give us anything. So here on the 1 hour time frame during the New York session, I was waiting for pretty much this key level of previous support. And again, I don't trade support, but I trade kind of like this imbalance over here. I was waiting for this imbalance to start pushing the market up higher. So we saw some initial bullish candles, but then again, we don't just simply buy on the bullish candles. No, I was waiting for kind of like the fractal break again in towards the upside to buy the buy stop here on the fractal high. Didn't play out, so perfect, no loss taken. Now what I'm waiting for here is for the market to start stabilizing again. So now we're again in a key level of demand over here. And now what I'm waiting for is a stronger 4 hour breakout, clear break of the fractal high with a strong bullish candle, clear demand formed, and then I'll be looking for some more buys again. So yeah, interested in continuation to the upside here on gold with the daily fractal still being bullish, daily impulsive phase still active. We've already taken liquidity and we've tapped into demand. So I'll be looking and monitoring the 4 hour time frame to see if we get any bullish pressure. But as long as there is no bullish pressure, then obviously there is no buys to be taken. So we need to wait for that to form. Personally, not interested in sells anymore. Sells had the opportunity to be nice yesterday, where again, maybe I should have been a little bit more aggressive with looking for those sells, because at the end of the day, we had a very nice liquidity sweep of the overall high here. And then what happened is that we got the 1 hour fractal break here, and then supply overall pushed the market down lower. So some nice price action there, but now I'll be waiting for the market to form a support base here on the 4 hour time frame. Which is just simply said a 4 hour strong fractal break, clear demand zone forming, and then I'll be looking to get into some buys once again with maybe the initial position having my stop loss kind of like here at 32.40. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day and speak soon.